Hello and welcome back to How I Make Comic Part 2. As it turns out, I forgot to enable the microphone when I made this part. I'll have to voice over this. Where we left off, I was aligning the last red bubble in the strip number 99 if you remember. And what we're seeing right now is me finishing that work. After that, there's something missing around the words. We need bubbles to put them in. So, what I do is I need to, well, I'm about to do it. Oh, come on. I use the rounded rectangle tool. There we go. I move it a little bit there. And I make an outline around this. Now, when I have a G, P, or some other block letter needing a cellar in the last line, I leave a single pixel of space between the bottom of most of the letters and the edge of the bottom corners. So, other than that, the edge of the corners is usually aligned with the actual edge of the letters, as past me is demonstrating right now. Wait, and checking to make sure it's actually right. Now, usually there will be at least one side that is not like that to begin with, and then I do what my past self is doing there. I align them manually. Yeah. And then I go on to do the same with the other speech bubbles. Since I don't have a letter cellar in this word bubble, I don't need to leave an extra pixel of space between. I go on to make sure everything's alright there and continue with the next panel. And I pretty much continue doing this until I've done it. It's a reasonably quick process, since it's rather simple. And I have some practice in it. And yeah. Final panel. Sometimes I don't bother to try to get this as close as possible to begin with, because I can always just align it afterwards. The exception being present here, the solar thing. The reason I do that is because it looks a bit bad if there's just 2 pixels of space between the letter and the border. And then I manually fix up everything. So now that's fixed up, I need the pointers, so whatever they're called, that shows who's talking. Yeah, then to use the line tool to do this. But first I need to figure out where to put the actual bubble first. That sentence I do first? That's typical of me. Anyway, yeah. Often I align the top or bottom edge of the red bubble with spot usually 1 or 2 pixels above or below the edges of the mouth. Edges, well, whatever. And then I use the line tool. Well, actually this time I think past me is just demonstrating what I just said. Placing the actual bubble first. And then I used the wrong tool, but I don't think that was visible on the video. At least I did use the wrong tool at one point, drawing a line across the bubble, and that's obviously not what I wanted. And then go on to repeat the process with the other bubbles, aligning them to somewhere I want. Well, somewhere that looks good is basically the point here. I try to make things look as good as I can. And yeah, now that I'm pleased with how things look, I draw a line extending the top or bottom line of the bubble, and another line that usually reaches somewhere around the edge of the top or bottom of the mouth, like that. And then I will remove the parts that are after the last point where the lines overlap, and that piece of line will overlap between the two lines. It's where they meet, to put it like that. Now, when I have two bubbles in a row, that are said by the same person, I make a connection like that. The four pixels in the middle there are just to make sure the actual width of the connector is right. 4 pixels. And then I use these pixels in the corners here to make things look good. That's pretty much what I try to do. Then I go on to make the pointers for each of the other red bubbles. Now, what is... oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, this is pretty much what I just told you about. Sometimes there are exceptions to how I do it. Like now, I remove a pixel since it looked silly with a long end, and sometimes I have to move the red bubble a little to make it look better. So like this, actually. Yeah, I'm aware this commentary is a bit less organized and coherent than the last one, but as I said, I forgot to put on to enable the microphone part of this recording, so I have to do this afterwards. So yeah, this is still the same process, but don't worry, we're done with it soon. And I'll need a smaller eraser there. Yeah. So what's next? Oh, come on, there we go. The screen I'm using for the preview is a little laggy. I'm not sure if this thing. So going like this. Anyway, now that the bubbles are there with pointers. Oh yeah, right. So I forgot about this. I felt like moving this bubble a little higher. One pixel. Why do I keep calling them blocks? Anyway, so I detached the nose. Then I made a joke about how the only reason they don't bleed when I do that is that I keep the comic PG and don't want the blood and gore. Anyway, that would have been funnier if I had actually enabled the microphone. That would have been a nice start. So anyway, yeah, what's missing now? Well, the background is missing. So we use the fill tool to well, fill in the color. And since Crixwell has a bit that is out of reach from the fill tool above it, oh, he that's that fill. But that's not the end of this comic making. That sounded weird. I said I wanted a Norwegian flag in panel 1, so I paused the video for a moment there and made this. Uh-oh, I can see the microphone recording is lagging a bit too, it seems. I hope this does not make the sound choppy. Yeah, sorry if it is. My computer is not very strong. As you can see, I just made a Norwegian flag, and I then go on to make a black outline, which I think looks better than without it. And I compared them to see what I found was the best, and I decided with the outline. I then aligned it to the red bubble just because I figured it looked better. And yeah, come on. There we go. Everything's aligned now. Now, the comic is what am I doing now? Okay, yeah, I think this must be the point where I started to work with the title. What are you waiting for past me? What were you waiting for? Oh, there we go. I had paused the video for a moment to come up with the title, and then I made a line along the bottom edge of the canvas. I then expanded the canvas downwards, and this is to make place for making the title and the number for the stirrup. As the title of the template says, the layout template, the title is a 17 point. 7 point is far too small. And then I mess around with way too big selection boxes. This is usually not part of the process. And there we go. I remove that bit and go on to make a number for the stirrup. In this case, that will be number 99. And I picked the color from the edge of the layout because the panel borders are not, the color there is not on my palette. If you compare the colors of the panel borders and the darkest color on my palette besides black, they're not quite matching, and the video lagged a little for me, the preview. I then go on to use that color to make the stirrup title, which I then cut and place at the top. Okay, there we go. Up there and to the right. And that's it. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed seeing how I make comic. And I'll see you all next time. Or something.